My name is Selena Connell, and I go to Yorktown High School in Arlington, Virginia. The purpose of my project was to test to see if the presence of a student's smartphone affects their accuracy and time on a short math test. I hypothesized that the students would score less and take more time on the math test when their phone was face up on the table versus when it was not on the table. For my project, I gathered 30 participants and had them all take a short 10-question 2-digit times 2-digit multiplication test, shown above, with their phones face up on the desk. Then, I recorded the amount of time it took them to complete the test and graded their test using the answer key. Then the next day, I had the same participants take a slightly different test, seen above, and with their phones secured in their backpacks. I recorded their time and graded those tests as well. Here are some images from the experiment. Next, the times and scores were then stored in a spreadsheet. Once the data had been analyzed, I found there was a significant difference in times between the two trials, but not a significant difference in scores. Times were 125.467 seconds faster when their smartphone was not on the desk. However, scores were only 4.63% higher when the smartphone was not on the table, so the hypothesis was only partly supported. You can see my data table above. Here are also some graphs that represent my data. However, one trend in the data was that the scores on the math worksheet without the phone on the table were generally about 5% higher than when the phone was on the table. This might be something to be further investigated. But why is this important scientifically? This is important scientifically because some schools have different policies about phones. Some allow students to have their phones with them during the school day, but others require them to be locked up during school. This experiment determined whether or not phones are a distraction if the student is not doing anything on it, and potentially whether or not schools should even allow students to bring their phones to class. This is really intriguing because it has the potential to help students around the world perform better in school simply by adjusting the placement of their phones. Thank you for listening.